What's up, everybody? It's Ultra Dad with another shoe review. Tonight I am going to talk about the Hoka One One Stinson ATR 5. The Stinson is an interesting shoe. It is the most cushioned shoe that Hoka has in their lineup, which is pretty much how I found out about this shoe. I like to run ultra races, of course, so I'm always looking for ways to make it more comfortable and protect my feet better. And when I found out that the Stinson had the most cushion, I thought, well, hey, that's probably a shoe that I should be looking at. I am not going to be able to get to a full review. This is more of a first impressions video. And there's a couple reasons for that. I think the biggest one is right when I bought these shoes, the Stinsons, I had also purchased the Ultra Olympus shoes. And due to my past experience with the Olympus shoe, I have definitely run a lot more in that shoe. And so I don't really need these shoes. But before I return them, I wanted to give you just kind of my first impressions in case you're looking at this particular shoe. The Stinson ATR 5 is, like I said, one of Hoka's most cushioned shoe that they have. I'm not sure if you could compare the Bondi to it on the road side, but I think you probably could. Bondi is one of their, if not their most cushioned shoe for road shoes. It has a 39 millimeter stack height in the heel and a 34 millimeter stack height in the toe. It's for a 5 millimeter drop. It is a neutral shoe, but you really can't. If you try to twist it, it's pretty firm, and that's just because there's so much of this EVA midsole that's there, and it's very dense too. If you press on it, I mean, this is extremely dense. It really doesn't compress very much. So you've got a pretty nice lacing system. I mentioned this. I went for a run today in these, and I had a few comments. So in a couple seconds, I'll let you take a look at that. But it's a good lacing system with nice laces. It has a nice lockdown feel. I will say, and I say this in the video, that the heel cup here is a little bit uncomfortable at first, but it actually kind of grows on your foot, and it's not too bad. There's plenty of padding in it. It's just a little bit stiff, and so that's something that you might be wanting to know about. The upper is fine. It was plenty breathable. Now I was running today in 50 degrees, so really there wasn't cause for any kind of overheating, but it seems like a shoe that would breathe just fine. So one big thing I'd like to talk about is the outsole. So the outsole is, they actually put it on their website as a sticky rubber compound that's supposed to give you more traction. This is not the most aggressive outsole that you might find in one of their other shoes, especially the Speed Goat. The Speed Goat lugs and lug pattern, I believe, are much more effective with traction. But these aren't too bad. I didn't have any issues with the runs that I've done, and I've only done 2. So take that with a grain of salt. But it's not terrible. It's just not that aggressive. And so I definitely wouldn't take this on anything technical. But for a buffed out trail, it would be just fine. So one of the issues that I've run into, sorry, no pun intended, is the stack height is so high, and like we said, it's the most cushioned, most maximum cushioned shoe that Hoka offers. It's so high that it does tend to want to topple, and there is some instability. And you'll see this during my run. I think it came through on the video, but I rolled my ankle, and it was a little bit dicey. So if you have any issues with rolling your ankle, you might want to be careful about the Stinson. All right, now that I've given you a few basics, why don't you take a look at my trail run and some of the comments I had, some of my first impressions. All right, so we're out here at Twin Creek today to review the Hoka One One Stinson ATR 5. Pretty excited. This is one of their max cush shoes that I've always been interested in, and I've just come out here today for a few miles for a first impressions video. The Stinson is a very interesting shoe and this is my second run in it, so won't be able to give you a completely comprehensive review, but at least give you some initial thoughts in case you're interested in it. Another beautiful day out here at Twin Creek. Some first impressions from the Hoka Stinson ATR 5s. Well, let me tell you a little bit, give you a little history. So I've run in these shoes twice. The first time was probably about a month ago. So, and I decided at that time that the Stinsons were just too much shoe. And so I put them in the box and I was going to return them. Well, I haven't returned them yet. And I figured, while I have them, I might as well take them out one more time and at least give some first impressions. These are very beefy shoes. My very first impression is, I'm gonna walk for a minute, is that the lacing is great. I really like this lacing. The lacing system, the eyelet chain, the laces themselves. Whatever they did with these Stinsons, I like it a lot better than the Speed Goat lacing. It's kind of a minor thing, but they really allowed it to kind of cinch tight. And with a bigger shoe like this, that's very important. So that's a huge plus. Now, when I put them on, you should know they feel like you're putting a pair of boats on your feet. And I say boats, B-O-A-T-S, because they're big. They're really high and a lot of stack height. I'll go into more details with the technical specs later. But yeah, it's a lot of shoe. Now, that's a great thing if you're running an ultra marathon, you're putting 100 miles on your feet, like I'll be doing the next couple weeks. That is what these shoes would do well with. Now you may see right now, I'll put it in, or you might have seen before, I rolled my ankle a couple miles into this run today, and that is an issue because the stack height is so high. Ground feel, basically none, which isn't too much of a problem if you're not on super technical trails, but I could see it being an issue with stability if it's gravelly, or if there's if the ground you're running on is unstable, because you really can't feel much at all underneath your feet. That's a good thing though if you're talking about running over rocks or roots, and I took some video of that earlier. So, you know, this is a shoe designed to go the distance, no doubt. I would never take this shoe on a shorter trail run, besides today, because I'm reviewing it. But the Stinson ATR 5 would definitely have a use, but it is fairly limited. So if you're thinking about getting it, make sure you understand what it's meant for and what it's designed for. So those are a few of my initial thoughts from this run. I'll add more later from the basement. Yeah, look who joined me today.
Hey, how are we doing, guys?
Got Eric, yeah. He loves the camera.
Wow.
So,
I'm out of hiding.
So we were just down here independently running at Twin Creek. I'm doing a review with this one too. So these shoes, the Hoka Stinson 5s. So anyway.
Well, hope you enjoyed the trail video. I really had a good time today running, and the Stinsons did pretty well. I was surprised. If you may remember, I mentioned a few times, this is really only the second run that I've had in these shoes, so by no means a comprehensive review. I think it's only about 12 miles, so I just wanted to give you some impressions after a few runs, and I would say I was pleasantly surprised. Definitely they improved on the second run. The first run, I was very disappointed. That's why I started running so much in my Ultra Olympus 4.0s and kind of packed these up and was just going to return them.
But I'm glad I kept them because the second run, definitely they started to shine through a little bit. If you can get over the super high stack height and the tendency to topple and twist your ankle, if you can get over that, then this may be the shoe for you. I also think that, I typically like the maximum cushion shoes because my knees and my hips, sometimes, there's some pain there, so it's good to have that cushion. But I'm probably not the most in need of those things, but some people are. So this may be a good option for somebody who really has bad hip issues, bad knee issues, just as long as their ankles are stable. So I would recommend these for a small group of people. I guess probably the most difficult portion of these is, like I said, the tall stack height, but even more importantly, they're just so massive in size. They're so wide and tall, and they're just beefy. And I would, it kind of you can definitely tell as you're running. I think on their website it's 12.3 ounces for size 9.5. So very heavy shoes, even amongst the trail shoes. So you just have to be prepared for that and know that you're not going to win any speed races with these shoes. Definitely only for very long races, ultra marathons, hiking even, things like that. So, but all in all, this may be a shoe that some people would find useful. My opinion hasn't changed too much. I am going to return these, and I'll be also getting the Speedgoat 4s very soon, so I'll be reviewing those too. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the review. If you did and you like some of the content I'm putting out, feel free to subscribe. It definitely helps the channel. Like this video, that helps as well. And I look forward to putting out more content for you. Have a good evening.